It's always good, isn't it, to take a look at some of the breaking news coming out of London. And this particular story today is really rather interesting. Hi, good morning. Hi, I'm here in the very heart of London. Thank you for joining me today. And yes, that busy as ever. Royal story coming out of London. This particular story is really developing over in California. As we know, both Harry and Meghan will be making a return trip back to the United Kingdom in early June. Lots of people asking the question, when they come over, will they be, will they be welcomed with open arms? Will they be invited to, say, the coronation of King Charles? Well, according to a very good source, an insider tells me that unless Netflix pull the plug on Harry and Meghan, we won't see them back here at all. As we know, they were due to make a return last year for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations. We were all geared up to see them alongside, of course, other senior members of the British monarchy. But at the last minute, they decided to pull out, citing, of course, the fact that they had security issues and so forth. A lot of people were surprised that they didn't make an appearance, especially during the service at St. Paul's Cathedral. They could have appeared on the balcony if they'd wished to, but according to a very good source who worked on the Platinum Jubilee celebrations, unless Netflix decide to pull the plug, then Harry and Meghan won't be returning. That's because apparently now they want too much money. As we know, both Harry and Meghan, since their departure from the British monarchy, have been very shrewd in building their own personal brands. And it seems that now they want to be paid for that return. According to the source, it would appear that Harry and Meghan are asking for huge fees for any appearance. And more importantly, they want a cut of the commercial rights for that particular event. As ever, we have to say allegedly, but it's the reason why, according to this particular source, Harry and Meghan won't be returning to the United Kingdom unless, of course, Netflix decide to pull the plug. Now, as I say, this is developing over in California because as we know, both Harry and Meghan are now living a very different life. They've moved on from the British monarchy. Now, whether they wish to move on from Netflix remains to be seen. As we know, their series, which was a mega flop around the world, has now been dumped by the company. No doubt they'll be offered other things. Let's not forget that they are still under contract. But what's interesting here, as ever, is this particular story. Now, you may remember, we told you here on the show a few weeks ago, Prince Harry was allegedly approached to front a big animal documentary for the BBC. Now, again, we have to say allegedly, but it would appear that Prince Harry was offered a considerable amount of money for this particular role. Now, what is interesting here is, did Prince Harry turn it down because he felt it was beneath him, or did the BBC simply turn around and say, we can't afford what you're asking for? And more importantly, would you move back to the United Kingdom to take on such a role? Because obviously, as we've said to you before, if he did, then it would play down the terrible things that he has written about his family within that best-selling book Spare. So there's lots of ifs and buts. But according to this particular source, Harry and Meghan won't be returning. And that's a shame because I think many people over here would like to have put forward their version of events as to how they left the British monarchy. We've already heard their version of events via Netflix. We've heard their version of events via a very big best-selling book. But as I say, what's interesting here is moving forward. Would they actually return? I think many people over here are confused as to why they would want to return. As we saw recently with that charity event over here at the Royal Albert Hall. There were pictures in the newspapers and online of both Harry and Meghan. Were they pining for Great Britain? Or did they just want to get out there in the public eye once again? Because, as we know, they've both been very active on social media recently. Particularly with the Invictus Games, which they set up way back in 2014. Lots of people feel that, well, if they're so loved around the world, why do they need to return to the United Kingdom? They've got their Invictus Games, which they can promote across the world via social media. Now, as I say, it is developing because, according to this particular source, Harry and Meghan would love to return, but they want financial gain. Now, this could be a stumbling block. Because as we've told you before, the British monarchy are not big payers. We know that King Charles doesn't like to flaunt his wealth. And this is where it is. Going to be difficult for Harry and Meghan because they VA moved on, and they see themselves as very much Hollywood royalty. Now, that may be the case, but the reality is they need to cash in. And the only way they can cash in is to either release more episodes of their flop show on Netflix or, more importantly, appear at big-ticket events and charge for it. Now, whether the British monarchy are willing to offer such big fees, I very much doubt, and according to that good source, it's unlikely Harry and Meghan will return. Unless, of course, Netflix pull the plug, then they'll have nothing to lose. They can then return to the United Kingdom and appear at those big royal events. Then they could make money via book, via TV, and more importantly, via their own personal brand. But as I say, it's good to see that, even in the very heart of London. People are talking about Harry and Meghan and, more importantly, what they're doing next. Because, let's not forget, since they've left, they've really not been seen at all. Yes, we've seen pictures of them on the beach in Montecito, various charity events, but they're keeping a very low profile. And it seems that the British monarchy are very happy to keep out of the limelight. And more importantly, are happy for Harry and Meghan to do exactly the same. As ever, when I know more, you'll know more. Reporting from the very heart of London.